Welcome to Panels and Borders. I'm Dominic, and this is another special edition episode of Road to Dune. So this is the last segment of my conversation with Prawnkus, and once again there's a few of those echoey spots in the audio, so just a heads up for that. So here now is the conclusion of our conversation about Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
Yeah, because sci-fi fans in general are pretty detail-oriented, so they'll know right away if something's up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can see that with Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans. Star Trek fans will know, if there's some kind of a technology, well, it wasn't introduced in this time period. They know they know canon inside and they know canon inside and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can.
Okay. So, but a lot of these sci-fi fans know their canon inside and out. So, you gotta have your I's and T's crossed. So, if they do try to shoehorn any of their Brian Herbert's ideas in there, pretty sure the fans will pick up on it.
Oh yeah, I think the Dune fandom might be. I guess I don't want to sound like we're smarter than everybody else, but I think we're probably a more mature audience, so I don't think we're going to complain as much as Star Wars fan, but it might not be too far off.
Yeah,
because I think the complaints that there are going to be complaints. I mean, everybody's going to complain about everything, as it always is. But I hope it's not as toxic as some of the Star Wars discussions have gotten in the past. I think I like to have the idea that Dune fans are a little more nuanced, and that we understand as much as that our version of Dune is different from Denis' version of Dune, and we can still have our version of Dune. We can still have the novel, the perfect story in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah,
and then treat the film as something of an adaptation. It is an adaptation, and part of adaptation is to alter things and to interpret upon it through a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's inevitable that things are going to change, and sometimes a very, very core thing are going to have to be changed because it is an adaptation. But I think Dune fans are smart enough to know that.
Yeah, it's I know, and. Because everything that's going on right now, it's with, because I'm one of those crossover fans, so I'm a big Star Wars fan, big Star Trek fan, big Dune fan. And so it's kind of nice to have, Dune is almost like my oasis of fandom, where I can retreat, because everything is gone, because Star Trek, it almost kind of feels like I've kind of, I don't know how to word this, but I've lost a lot of faith in some of the other franchises that I've been into, when it comes to Star Wars and Star Trek. Those are the two big ones. Where the product that they're putting out now, I'm just not, as a fan, I just don't really feel satisfied with. But where Dune is okay, well, I still have Dune. That's what I have left. So that's where I can kind of retreat. And yeah, it is a better. And it is a better fandom. You don't have the bickering going on among Dune fans that you have with Star Wars and Star Trek fans. I mean, it was always there with Star Trek and Star Wars fans, but it's gotten really bad nowadays. Where you can't even I don't know. It's almost depending on whether or not you like or dislike The Last Jedi, people will judge you right away. You know what I mean? Well, if you don't like The Last Jedi, then you must be this, and that. Or if you like The Last Jedi, you must be this, and that. Whereas, just like me among my personal friends or whatever, we can still kind of have that discussion, because it's in real life, about if we don't do or don't like Star Wars, and it still be civil. But online, it just almost seems to bring out the worst in people sometimes, social media. Where Dune, it's a lot better, because I chat with people on, I don't even talk about Star Wars or Star Trek with other people really much on Twitter, but Dune, I will engage more people on there, because it's a better, healthier fandom, for sure.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of people call me hipster, but I think a lot of has to do size of fandom.
Yeah.
Because when you have like huge IPs like Star Wars or Star Trek, there are going to be a few dum-dums in there when you have crowds that are that eclectic and that huge. And it's always going to be this very, very loud minority that's always just screaming in the background, and nobody can get a word in, really.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I think even the most obnoxious people online, if it just wasn't online, I think they would be nice enough and smart enough. I think a lot of it has just to do with the online part of it.
Oh, for sure.
And I think a lot of it's going to happen with Dune as well, especially if it's going to be a huge success. If it earns a lot of money and a lot of new fans, we're going to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's something that I personally take with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
All of the toxicity of it. What I worry most about is how intimidating it is for the filmmakers to take on these roles and to take on the responsibility of adapting something like this and to keep going with a beloved series.
Yeah.
And how that toxicity is then going to reflect itself in this stuff that you love. It almost becomes tainted by it. And I hope that doesn't happen with Dune.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same thing. Yeah, it does. It does kind of feel like it does feel that way. And the other thing, it could just be with Star Trek and Star Wars too. It could just be that they've been on the go so long now. They're probably just as IPs tapped out, where Dune hasn't really been tapped into at all yet.
Yeah,
because we've only had the two adapt.
Like they have a lot of a rich thematic foundation with things like Star Trek and Star Wars. With Dune, it's like you can go in any direction. I think there's a lot of fresh ground to cover.
Yeah. Yeah, there is for sure. And so now, do you think, because Legendary has like TV and movie rights for Dune, so do you think you could see this something that if this movie is a big hit and it does make a certain amount of money, now could you see them making more theatrical sequels, or could you see them maybe doing like a TV series of Dune, almost like Game of Thrones style?
I could see it work both ways. I think it's kind of hard for me to tell. I think I need. Oh, am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear. You just for a second there. You cut out for a second.
Okay. I don't know much about the TV market and how you go about the choice of making something for TV from a production standpoint. But just narratively, I think it could work in both ways. I think I like how at least each chapter be like the communication of certain thematic ideas, certain little journeys for each character, and just like self-enclosed little stories. And I think that could work very well in terms of something episodic. But of course, there's also like the overarching, the full story that works very well for a film. It's a very hard question to answer, I think. Not having read further than a little bit into Children of Dune, I don't know how it works further down the line and how much material there is for multiple seasons in that case.
I think, like, personally, I think it would work. I think the first book is probably the best one to adapt for a big movie, but I don't know if the other ones necessarily will work at all as movies. Just because the way they're written and how they're kind of expanded on, and in some of the other books, he kind of goes into more like philosophical ramblings than in the first one. But I think you could probably do it in a television series, because then you can kind of explore all the different. Because you could probably turn each book into at least a 10 episode or 12 episode season kind of work, and then you could get 6 seasons out of that. So I think you could probably do the books. You'd have a better chance of doing the books, the sequel books anyway, as a TV series, in my opinion, than you would as each one as a feature film.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of the filler, I don't want to call it filler, but a lot of the text, a lot of the length of the original Dune novel was dedicated to things like world building and descriptions and things like that. And I don't think that would translate too well if you're going to go about it like for a TV series. If you were going to do the first film or the first book, sorry, as a TV series, I think there's if you wanted to do that, I think you needed to expand upon the base narrative. Actually, if you want to extend it to an entire season, as we think about it today, because a lot of this stuff is just not something that translates to film in terms of adding more shots or adding more narrative. It's just something that you can show in an image, which is going to last just a few seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's enough material there for a TV series in the original book.
Yeah, no, you would definitely have to go through the other books. It's it's going to be an interesting movie for sure, and I'm hoping like there's not too much infighting or bickering, or the movie's not attacked too much when it does finally come out.
But I mean, even if it is attacked, I mean, I'm guessing that that's just a sign of enthusiasm. That there's a fan base there that's very passionate and that's very loyal. Even if they do complain. Yeah. I think like most people who are complaining about Last Jedi are still gonna go. Did I cut out again?
Yeah, just for a couple seconds there. Yeah, you were saying about The Last Jedi there.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. I think a lot of the audience that have complained about The Last Jedi, they're still gonna go to cinema.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still going to pump money into this IP because they're so passionate about it, and I think a lot of that results in complaints because that's the stuff that's easiest to communicate. That's the problem you could bring attention to. That's the important information. A lot of the time, you feel. I feel at least a lot of times that if you communicate a problem to someone producing something, then that is just that much more likely to get their attention to fix it, maybe. And I think that works for like larger fandoms as well. I think they're definitely listening, and I think
you can.
While it's toxic, while it's obnoxious, it's to some extent I guess it can be useful. It's a lot of feedback that you can use to design a product.
Yeah, you can see it like in news stories and stuff like that. That Lucasfilm and even the people over at Star Trek have been taking steps to fix fan complaints about their series and stuff. But it's so now
it's a double-edged sword, really, because sometimes the fans don't know best.
Yeah, no, that's true. Sometimes they don't know best, and there's been examples of that. Well, one example is everyone was excited for a prequel to Alien, thinking they wanted all that mystery solved, and then never happened. And I was one of those people. I'll be honest. When I was really looking forward to Prometheus. I was thinking, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, that would be a cool idea. I'd love to see how that ship got there and why the eggs are there. I wanted those things answered until I've seen the movie. Then I went and saw the other one, Alien, the last one they did, Alien Covenant. Saw that and I was like, yeah, no, I want to go back to being ignorant, not knowing what happened to the ship. This wasn't satisfying at all. But yeah, it's one of those things where it sounds good in theory, like you think you wanted all that mystery answered, and then it doesn't live up to what you had in your own imagination.
Yeah. One thing I hated about those new films that I hope Dune can avoid is that those films felt very, very... They felt like they were very busy showing how seriously they took themselves. And I hope Dune can avoid that.
Yeah, it was like that.
They were very busy establishing themselves as adult films, and look how artsy and fartsy we are. But it came off as being very pretentious to like a ridiculous degree. But I mean, Villeneuve have shown that he knows how to handle this stuff in a mature way without calling too much attention to just the fact that he's being mature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Yeah, they do kind of come off, and I never really thought about it, but yeah, the movies do kind of come off those Alien prequels as pretentious. I don't think that'll be the case with Dune. Like, I haven't really seen that in any of his past films, so
No, not at all.
And I'm kind of like you with Timothée Chalamet too. I've never seen him in any movies, so. And I actually want to avoid any movies he's in until I see Dune first. Just because I kind of like that idea of going in and having like a complete unknown portraying a character that I'm really familiar with. Because then it kind of gets me more into the... it suspends my belief more. If you know what I'm saying. Like if you don't have no clue who the actor is, then you see the character more than just the actor. As opposed to if it was a really super well-known actor, like someone who's
I think that might be. I think that might also feed into why a lot of fans are a little bit concerned about Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
I think that's the same reason, maybe.
Yes, it could be. Yeah, because he is fairly well-known. Yeah.
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 Because it's like you start connecting the pieces, like you said, and you just sort of start filling in blanks.
Yeah.
Even though that's not even what the movie is basically communicating.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true. Like you do, because same thing when they announced Oscar Isaac, and I checked, and and they show that image of him from The Last Jedi, and because I'm one of those people, I did not like The Last Jedi, so I was like, kind of made that connection in my mind, and I explained that in a video, and I was thinking, okay, well, it's the same thing as the Zendaya thing. He's just an actor. It's just work he did. That's all. Everything that was wrong with the movie has nothing to do with him. It's all up to the directors and writers and stuff, right? So, and then I think about, and then I had to think about the other movie that I liked, the one, the name of the movie escapes me now, with the robot girl in it. That one I really,
Machina.
Yes, Ex Machina, and I had to think back. Okay, because that's the other movie I've known him from, is that one there, and I thought back to that. Okay, well, he was really good in that, to the point where I didn't know it was the same guy. So that kind of brought my faith up, and so I'm really positive about the movie. I think it's even though some of the choices kind of got people a little bit skeptical, I think it's gonna work out to be for the best.
But I mean, I don't think that there's any casting choices that I disagree with so far. Like, not downright disagree with. There's some of them that I'm curious about and I'm surprised about.
Yeah.
But like Stellan Skarsgård, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. He's going to be
Dave Bautista. Like, that's incredible. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about Fade also.
Yeah, me too.
I think someone, I don't know if you've seen Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot, no, I haven't.
Oh, the guy who plays the main part in Mr. Robot, I can't remember his name. He played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay.
I think he could be a great Fade, because he's got like that very, he's got like a very strange look. He's very handsome, but he also knows how to look creepy, and he's got like those crazy eyes, and it's not like overdone crazy eyes. He's very subtle about it.
Yeah,
so I think he could be a great Fade.
Yeah, you want someone who's going to be a good match for Timothée Chalamet, because it's going to be because like in the book he's almost like Paul's dark opposite, Fade.
Yeah,
he's like another one that's being groomed to be something great, just like Paul was in the story.
I actually think a lot of the dramatic balance in that case is just comes down to the arrogance of Harkonnen, and the arrogance of the Krynos, because it's like all of these people think they really have the plan that's going to beat all of them. They really have all the cards, and the only one who actually holds all the cards is the only one who realizes that he's powerless. And I think that's a very interesting dramatic context to tell a story in.
Yeah, it is.
And I hope they bring that to the screen.
Yeah, and there's a few characters in the book I'm wondering if they're going to be in the film and who is going to play them, like the character of Count Phasmir, if he's going to be...
Phasmir?
Or Hasmir, I think it is. Phasmir or Hasmir. He's...
Fenring.
Fenring, yes, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah. So I'm curious if they're... Because he's not... he was in the miniseries, but he wasn't in the 84 film. So I'm curious if he's going to be in the new version. Because he was kind of like a very manipulative character, even though he wasn't more in the background. He was kind of in there too, had his own. And in the book, it's kind of implied that he was actually a candidate for the Kwisatz Haderach. So that would be interesting.
Oh, really? I don't remember that part at all.
Yeah, if they include him in the film. It'll be interesting to see who plays that character.
Yeah, because he's kind of like he kind of sends like the messages that the Emperor seems to send under the tables politically seems to go through Count Fenring a lot.
Yeah.
I think you can tell the story without Fenring on a film, but I mean, at the same time, I'd love to see a character like Fenring and how much he puts in the subtext of everything that he says and does. Mm-hmm. I think that could be very interesting to watch on screen, and to watch an actor play with that character, I think could be a lot of fun, really.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you think now of the overall state of film and movies and stuff?
Oof, that's a big one. Yeah, I think we agree on a lot of things, actually.
Yeah.
In terms of like the superhero films, I've made the choice of I'm never gonna watch another superhero film. Like never ever, because they are good films. They really are. Mm-hmm. And I respected a lot that they were able to make so many films, and they're all solid, and they are all on such a high level. But I feel like a lot of the time it feels like the films are good because money has been pumped into them, not because time has been pumped into them.
Yeah, they...
And a lot of them are it feels like TV series on a much grander scale.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like there's a new episode every year. The episodes are much longer. Instead of just being basically just telling a single story and not have it feel like a 2-hour trailer for a lot of ideas we have later down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, and
that's my take on it.
And it seems today, my thing with the movies now is it seems that, especially with big budgets, movies with big budgets, it seems like studios don't want to take a risk like they used to in the past with something that's original. Like everything has to be based on something that's already established, like an established IP. Mm-hmm. And there's been a few movies that have attempted to break out of that, but they haven't. They weren't hits. Unfortunately, they didn't. Because one movie actually kind of liked it. It bombed though. Nobody liked it. Was Jupiter Ascending?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. But what I heard is that it was kind of terrible.
Yeah, it had some it had a few interesting ideas. It kind of goes back to, kind of takes an idea from The Matrix, where you're kind of living in a false reality. They kind of use that theme again in that movie, but like a film, but visually, it's really nice to look at. The visuals are really cool. But yeah, that's as much as I like superhero movies and stuff, I'd like to see that kind of that trend that movies are in now, that just that to have like those almost like assembly line type movies pumped out. I'd like to eventually see that kind of broken, so you can get some really good new IPs, something that would be original.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm so glad that Dune is, even though Dune it's based on a book, but still it's going to be, to me, it's my most I'm looking forward to Dune over any other movie. It's that's coming out right now, even Avengers Endgame or the next Star Wars or anything like that. This is the movie that has me the most excited, is Dune.
Oh yeah, same here. And in terms of bringing new ideas to the table, I think Dune has plenty of ideas, and I think there's plenty to take from Dune that you can pitch to a different audience than anything else on the market at this stage. That I think that I hope is going to be very enticing to a large crowd. Mm-hmm. In terms of the whole thing about just not taking risks and stuff, I think that's kind of a double-edged sword again. Because if you only take risks, there's of course I'm being taking it to an extreme here, but if you only take risks, you end up with something like Jodorowsky's Dune, which was just insane and would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Again, you have to strike that balance between yes, film is an art form, but it's also a craft. And it's also business, and you need all three to work together, no matter what you're making, no matter if you're David Lynch or if you're Michael Bay. They all have to work together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and they want to make money more than anything else.
Yeah, and I don't think we can blame them too much for that. A lot of people seem to blame them, and they've forgotten it as an art form. I don't know if they did, because the thing is, like, they make a lot of money, so people are going to see this stuff. So that's the feedback they have to work with, and it seems to resonate with a lot of audiences. And lately, like, if we remember, like, the '90s were a terrible decade for films, actually.
Yeah, it was.
The quality was so low. Like, if we look at it now, like, quality is actually on a pretty good level, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it might not be a great thing, but it's at least something that we can enjoy.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that did seem like a bit of a drought there for a while in the '90s when it came to movies. Yeah. Well,
I remember Men in Black kind of became like a classic. It wasn't actually a masterpiece, I don't think. It was just like, holy shit, a movie that's not terrible. That's the kind of, like, sums up the whole '90s drought of quality, I think.
Yeah. So I think that's probably a good spot there. Well, I guess before we go, just now, any final thoughts on this movie that you want to put in about the upcoming Dune?
I mean, all I've got is just things where I could go on for hours again, so I don't want to do that now. But I'm very interested in sound. I work with sound on, like, a bunch of short films in the past, so it's something that's very interesting to me. So I'm also very interested in seeing who they get to do the music.
Yeah, me too.
Now that what happened to Johan Johansson was incredibly tragic. He passed away last year. For those who don't know.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't.
But I think he would have been an incredible composer for something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen there, and that's something I could go on for hours about. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess for my final thoughts on this, my thing is, will be just so happy that the thing gets made.
Yes.
And gets put to the big screen. And then, because I know a lot of people are kind of jumping the gun with sequels and stuff like that, but even if they just make the first book into a really well-made movie, I'll be happy with that.
Yes.
And
I think we all need to be ready that it's not going to be our ideal interpretation, and we need to be ready for something being different from what we expected, and to roll with it. Yeah.
No, I agree with you there. Yeah, there's always going to be something that's going to be changed, because even from every version, from the '84 version, there's stuff that I don't like about it. Okay, I cut out there for a bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, even the '84 version, there's stuff in it I like and don't like, and then the miniseries, there's stuff that I didn't like. So there's always going to be something. My hope is this one at least gets it closest to my expectations. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit, but at least gets close, and probably maybe even puts a few twists on some ideas that will actually make them better, or a new way of thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing what new ideas they can bring to the table also. Like, sometimes they have to change a few things and treat things fundamentally differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually looking forward to that. I think that's something that's going to be very interesting to see them do. It's not something I'm against.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I guess we'll end it there. And because it's been like over an hour now, and like we had pretty good discussion. I had a pretty good discussion. I could go on talking about movies in general forever, but so we'll end it there. So is there anything that you want to plug while you're here, or no?
You cut out for a second there, but I think we've covered most of the stuff that I feel is important and valid to discuss right now.
Okay. All right, then. We'll end it there at that. Okay, so let us know what you thought of this discussion in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one.
So that concludes this three-part series that I did here for Road to Dune. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was a good conversation, and I hope to have another one with Prawnkus similar to this sometime in the future. So let me know what you thought about this in the comments section, and if you would like to see more videos like this, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.